Do you feel like since living in Washington, you've been able to kind of get involved in the community and do, different things with groups and all of that?
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of I almost think that's one of my favorite parts about traveling is just like getting into the communities everywhere I go. So actually out here, one of my first weekends I was here, I was coming out of the grocery store and there was a Boy Scout and his dad, and they had a table all set up. They were taking food donations, and I started talking to them, and they're like, "Oh, you're new to the area." We just got to talking. They're like, "Hey, you're new to the area." I told them what I do for a living, and they're like, "Oh, well, we have to get our merit badge for first aid. Like, is that something that you'd want to come teach the boys?" And I was like,
"Wow,
it's interesting, but that sounds like fun. Like, why not?" So I ended up going over there, helping them with their first aid merit badge. We went on like an outdoor retreat trip that they do every month. So it was a big camping trip up in the mountains. But yeah, I'm pretty much like a little co-leader of the Boy Scout troop in town now.
How fun is that?
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, what's the age group? I want to know all this stuff.
It's like, I think it's like 10 to 14.
10 to 14?
So, yeah.
Are they just like super pumped about you being there, and they're like
they
asking
have a lot
you
of
questions?
Fun. They will only call me Dr. Steph, and I'm like, guys, you don't have to do that. They're like, but Dr. Stephanie, because I always come straight from work. I come from work in my scrubs. I go straight to Boy Scouts, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun though. I enjoy it.
That's so fun. And then you did camping trips with them.
Yes, and oh my gosh. So I've only got to go on one camping trip so far with them. They have another one coming up, but I am actually going to be out in Las Vegas for TravelCon.
Yeah.
But the first camping trip, so I was there, like it was right after I was done teaching first aid. We had a couple more things to go over in our packet for first aid that trip. Mm-hmm. And the very first night they were all playing capture the flag, like having an awesome time. It was before it even got dark out. And one of the kids, he hits his leg like on this PVC pipe that got torn off by one of the cars driving up the bridge. So he smashes his leg into the PVC pipe. And PVC pipes, when they break, they're sharp.
Yeah.
So he smashes his leg into that, like falls off this little bridge, hits his back on the bridge. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not what I came here for. But
no.
Sure enough, he like limps over to us. His leg is gushing, and we had to do first aid right there. And his dad was like in the military at one point and has done all of the combat wounds and stuff like that. But it was bad. So we had to bandage it up pretty good, apply a lot of pressure. And then his dad had to take him to the ER that night to get stitches because it was so bad. It was awful.
It was like
a
real world first aid experience.
Exactly. We're like, okay, boys, you got to see it firsthand. Here you go.
This is not a drill.
I know. And then sure enough, they like all still ran around after. I'm like, okay, you're 10 to 14-year-old boys. It makes sense. They didn't listen
I don't know
very
if I can
well,
handle that.
Fun.
I don't like the blood. All the power to you, but I don't love it.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience for sure.
Oh my gosh, were all the other boys like freaking out?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them like couldn't even look at it. We're like, okay, well, you should be backing up anyways because we need our space to work on this poor leg.
Yeah. I'd be like with the boys that couldn't look at it on the other side, trying to calm them down.
Yes. And that boy came up to me last week and he goes, Dr. Stephanie, look at my scar. And he like pulls up his pant leg and he has a huge scar on his leg now. And it's like, you should just tell people you got attacked by a shark because that's kind of what it looks like.
Exactly. He'll probably have a good scar. It'll be great.
Exactly.
If you're listening, tell people it's a shark.